Welcome to Video Pods. Are you ready? Let's buckle up and dive in.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. This time we're going deep on something really cool, destination image. You've given us a ton of material on this, like academic papers, lecture notes, the whole shebang.
Yeah, it's quite the collection.
So let's dive in and see what we can learn. I think this could really change the way we think about travel.
Absolutely.
Whether you're a seasoned globetrotter or just starting to dream about your next getaway, understanding how destination image works can totally change how you experience those trips, you know?
It really is going deep into how we see those places we want to visit.
It's more than just like liking a photo on Instagram.
Right. It's about the facts.
The feelings.
And even how different cultures see things.
Okay, so we've got this definition from Crompton and Koenig. They're like the experts in this field.
Yeah.
They say destination image is the sum of beliefs, ideas, and impressions that people have of a place or destination. So it's like a mental picture, but way more to it.
It is. And what's really interesting is how that picture is both logical and emotional at the same time.
Okay.
It's like a blend. We've got the cognitive side, those hard facts, like Paris has the Eiffel Tower.
Makes sense.
But then there's the affective side, those feelings the city stirs up in you. Paris might spark like romance for one person.
Yeah.
But someone else might just feel anxious about all the crowds.
Totally. So when I think of Paris and I instantly get this image of like charming little cafes and cobblestone streets, that's my personal destination image, right?
Exactly. And it's not just one big image either.
Okay.
It breaks down into different types.
Oh, interesting.
Our research shows 3 main types: cognitive, affective, and conative.
Whoa, big words.
It's kind of like falling in love.
Okay, I like where this is going.
First, you learn about someone, right? That's
Yeah.
cognitive. Then you start to develop feelings. That's the affective part. And finally, you decide if you're going to go for it, ask them out. That's the conative image guiding your choices.
Wow. So break it down for me. How do these image types apply to travel?
Okay, so cognitive is all about the knowing. Like Paris has the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, amazing pastries. You just know it.
Got it.
Then there's affective, those feelings the city stirs up. Maybe it's romance. Maybe it's a longing for artistic inspiration. Could be anything.
Right.
Finally, there's conative, the action part. Based on what you know and feel, do you actually want to go to Paris? That urge you feel, that's the conative image guiding your choices.
So it's not just about liking the idea of a place. It's about that gut feeling that makes you want to book that plane ticket.
Exactly.
That's so interesting.
And this is where it gets even more interesting. How do those images form in the first place? We have to talk about organic versus induced images.
Ah, yes. Our notes have a lot on that. It seems like the organic ones are the ones we form naturally, just through life, through our experiences.
Right.
Like stories from friends.
Exactly.
Even news articles. Just stuff we absorb without anyone trying to sell us on anything.
Right. But then on the flip side, you have induced images. These are carefully crafted by, you guessed it, destination marketers.
Oh, yeah. I see where this is going.
Think about those glossy travel brochures. Those Instagram ads with those impossibly perfect beaches.
Oh, totally. Or even those travel shows that make everything look so idyllic.
Right. But sometimes those induced images can be a little...
Misleading.
Yeah, misleading is a good word.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't booked a trip based on a stunning beach photo,
Yeah.
only to get there and find out the beach is packed with tourists, the water isn't as blue,
Yeah.
and there are like hidden fees everywhere? That's induced image gone wrong.
It happens all the time. And that's
Yeah.
why it's so important to be a smart traveler.
Right.
To look beyond just the surface.
Don't just buy into the hype.
Exactly. Do your research, read different reviews, get a balanced view before you book that ticket. Remember, a beautiful photo doesn't always tell the whole story.
That's such good advice. It's like anything else, a little healthy skepticism goes a long way. Speaking of things that shape how we see things, our notes mention these archetypal images. What are those all about?
So archetypal images, those are like mental shortcuts.
Okay.
They're those universally recognized symbols, or stereotypes that just pop into our minds when we hear about a place.
Got it.
And they're often fueled by media,
Of course.
pop culture, all that stuff.
Yep.
So like the Eiffel Tower for Paris,
Makes sense.
a safari instantly makes you think of Africa.
Right. Or a gondola ride, you think of Venice.
Precisely.
It's like instant recognition.
Yeah. And these images, they're incredibly persistent. And there's a few reasons why. Established stereotypes, consistent marketing messages, and the influence of movies and TV shows, we see these images over and over, and they stick in our minds.
Yeah, makes you wonder how much those images actually reflect the real place.
Right.
Like, Paris is obviously more than just the Eiffel Tower.
Right. Totally. You're hitting on a really key point here, and this leads us into how cultural differences impact destination image. It's not just landmarks. It's about the whole feel of a place.
Yeah. Our notes mention how cultural differences can be like a barrier for some travelers,
Yeah.
but a huge draw for others.
Exactly. Language, values, customs, even food and etiquette. These can all play a role in how appealing a destination seems to someone.
Right. Like, some people are looking for adventure and are totally fine with a bit of unfamiliarity,
Right.
even excited by it.
While others might find it a bit stressful.
Makes sense.
If your goal is just to relax and de-stress, a place that feels culturally closer to home might feel way more comfortable.
It's like choosing a restaurant, right?
Yeah, totally.
Some people love trying exotic cuisines, while others just want something familiar and comforting.
Exactly. And that brings us to how destinations use image in their marketing strategies. They're not just selling places.
Right.
They're selling experiences, feelings.
It's getting strategic now.
Oh, yeah.
Our research says destinations use image to attract tourists, make themselves stand out.
Right. Differentiate themselves.
Yeah, and ultimately influence our travel decisions.
They use those stunning visuals. They highlight unique cultural events. Some even create whole campaigns designed to make you feel a certain way, all to make their destination look irresistible.
Yeah, it's like those ads showing people kayaking on this like crystal clear lake with mountains all around.
Yeah.
They're selling you that feeling of freedom and escape, not just a location on a map.
Exactly. And I bet you can think of at least one travel ad or image that's made you add a place to your travel wish list.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
But it's got to be more than just pretty pictures, right? There's this whole concept of destination positioning and branding.
Got it.
Hmm.
Just like a company builds a brand to stand out, destinations need to showcase their personality to attract the right visitors. That's where things like the destination brand benefit pyramid come into play.
A pyramid? Now, I'm really curious. Our notes have this diagram, it seems, to go from like tangible features at the bottom to emotional benefits at the top.
That's exactly right. Take Hawaii as an example. The base level might be its beaches and volcanoes.
Right, things you can see and touch.
Exactly. But as you move up that pyramid, you get to the emotional benefits, that feeling of relaxation, escape, connection with nature that Hawaii is known for.
So you're not just marketing what a place has, but how it makes you feel.
Exactly.
It's like crafting a story that'll resonate with the right kind of traveler.
You're getting it. And a key part of that story is identifying the destination's brand drivers.
Ah, yes. Our notes say those are like unique and ownable qualities that make a place different. It's what makes a destination stand out from all the others.
Precisely. It's about figuring out what makes a place truly special and then communicating that to the people who appreciate it.
So if a city is known for its vibrant art scene,
Yeah.
they wouldn't just list museums and theaters.
Right.
They'd highlight the energy.
Right, the creativity.
Yeah, that feeling of being part of something bigger.
Like a cultural movement.
Exactly.
It's about capturing the essence of a place, not just listing its features.
You got it.
That makes a lot of sense. But before we get too deep into marketing strategies, let's bring it back to the traveler's perspective for a sec. Why does all this even matter to someone planning a trip?
That's where the real power of understanding destination image kicks in. It's not just marketing jargon, it's a tool you can use to make smarter, more fulfilling travel choices.
It's like we have this superpower now, being able to see through all the marketing tricks.
Kind of. By understanding how these different destination images work, we can be way more conscious about how we travel.
Right.
Ask ourselves, like, am I really interested in this place, or am I just, reacting to some slick marketing campaign?
Yeah. Is that beach actually as amazing as it looks in the photos? Or are there going to be like hidden fees and tons of people everywhere? Exactly. And, is it even safe? That's something a brochure might not tell you. That's where doing your homework comes in.
Totally. Don't just take the destination's word for it. Read reviews, talk to people who've actually been there.
Yeah.
Get the real scoop.
Exactly.
This reminds me of a trip I took a while back. I was totally sold on these photos of like this secluded mountain retreat. It looked amazing, so peaceful.
Oh, yeah.
But when I got there, this secluded retreat was right next to a highway, super noisy.
Oh, no.
And the luxury accommodations were, well, let's just say they'd seen better days.
That's classic induced image versus reality. It really shows why you can't just rely on one source of information. Got to get different perspectives to really understand a place.
Yeah, for sure. So how do we actually use all this knowledge about destination image when we're planning a trip? It feels kind of overwhelming.
It doesn't have to be. First, figure out what you want out of your trip. What are your travel motivations? Are you looking for adventure, relaxation, cultural immersion, something else entirely? Once you know what you're looking for, you can start checking out destinations through that lens.
So if I'm craving adventure, maybe I should prioritize places that, offer a sense of excitement and discovery, even if there are some unknowns.
Exactly. But if your main goal is to just relax and unwind, you'd probably be more drawn to, peaceful places that offer familiar comforts. It's all about aligning your desires with the image, the destination projects.
That makes sense. What about that whole cultural distance thing? How can we consider that when we're planning?
Be honest with yourself about what you're comfortable with and what you want to experience. If you're excited to dive into a completely different culture, embrace it. But if language barriers or unfamiliar customs stress you out, maybe pick somewhere that feels a bit closer to home, culturally speaking.
It's about finding that sweet spot. Trying new things, but knowing your limits.
Exactly. And remember, cultural distance isn't just about geography. Even within the same country, different regions can have totally different vibes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So do your research, read up on local customs, and consider if the destination's cultural landscape actually matches what you're looking for.
This makes me think of all those travel lists we see online, like top 10 places to visit before you die, or most romantic destinations. How much should we actually let those lists influence our choices?
Yeah, good point. That's where critical thinking is key. Those lists usually just reflect popular opinion, They might not actually match your personal tastes. They can be good for inspiration, but don't let them dictate your choices.
So instead of just following someone else's must-see list, we should make our own personal travel wish list based on what genuinely speaks to us.
Exactly. Let those lists spark ideas, then do your own research. Dig a little deeper into those places and see if the reality matches the hype.
This makes me think about my own hometown. It's not a tourist destination, really, but it does have its own unique charm. I wonder what its brand drivers would be, if we were trying to attract visitors.
I love that. It shows that destination image isn't just for exotic, far-off places. Every place has a story to tell. Every place has something special that makes it unique.
So maybe, instead of just focusing on where we want to travel next, we should also think about how we can appreciate the places we already call home.
Absolutely. Understanding destination image allows us to be more conscious travelers, both in choosing destinations that speak to us and appreciating the unique qualities of the places we already know.
That's such a good point. But before we go too far down that road, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, or I guess the algorithm in our social media feeds.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not just travel brochures and TV shaping how we see places these days.
Right.
It's all that curated content we see online.
Absolutely. The digital landscape has made this whole destination image thing even more complex. Harder to tell what's authentic and what's just manufactured.
So how do we navigate all that online travel info without getting lost or, misled? Any tips?
Well, it all comes down to, recognizing potential biases, seeking out different perspectives. Remember, algorithms are designed to show you what they think you want to see, which can create these echo chambers and reinforce existing perceptions.
So we got to break out of those echo chambers and actually seek out information that challenges our assumption.
Exactly. If you're constantly bombarded with picture-perfect images of a place, try finding alternative views. Look for travel blogs or articles written by locals, or people who aren't trying to sell you something.
It's like taking a peek behind the curtain, right? Seeing the real unfiltered experience.
Precisely. And that can lead to more authentic, more fulfilling travel experiences. Because let's be honest, the best travel memories often come from those unexpected moments.
Oh, totally. It's those serendipitous encounters, the off-the-beaten-path discoveries, those moments that really surprise you.
Yes.
Those are the ones that make a trip truly memorable. And they're way harder to manufacture or capture in, like a brochure or an Instagram post.
Exactly. So as you're planning your next adventure, don't just let algorithms tell you where to go.
Right.
Do your research, get different perspectives, and be open to the unexpected. The real magic of travel often lies in those unscripted moments.
I love that. I think we've covered a ton of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about how destination image works, how it's used in marketing, and how we can actually use this knowledge to make better choices as travelers.
Yeah.
But there's one more aspect I think we should explore, how all of this plays out in the real world.
Yeah. Good point. Let's move beyond theory and look at some real-world examples of destinations that have successfully used these ideas to their advantage.
Okay, let's do it. Let's see how these concepts work in practice. Okay, so we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into destination image.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've talked about how these images are formed and how marketers use them,
Right?
and even how we can be more savvy travelers,
Yeah. Absolutely.
But now I want to see how this all works in real life.
It's one thing to understand the theory, right?
Yeah, but it's so much more fascinating to see how real places have used these ideas.
Exactly. So do you have any examples, any destinations that come to mind?
Oh, tons. But one that always stands out is Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a few years ago, Iceland was pretty much off the radar for most travelers.
Right.
But then they launched this amazing marketing campaign that really nailed destination image.
I think I remember those ads. Lots of incredible shots of like glaciers and volcanoes.
Right. And the Northern Lights. They showcased Iceland's natural beauty in this really powerful way.
Yeah.
It was awe-inspiring, aspirational even.
Totally.
And they also highlighted these unique experiences.
Okay.
Like exploring ice caves or soaking in geothermal pools.
Sounds amazing.
It created this image of Iceland as this like wild, adventurous, almost otherworldly destination.
And it totally worked, right? I feel like everyone's been talking about Iceland for the past few years.
Oh yeah, it was a huge success. Tourist numbers skyrocketed.
Yeah.
They became one of the hottest travel destinations.
Wow. And that image of Iceland as the land of adventure and natural wonders, it really stuck.
That's such a great example. It shows how a powerful destination image can really put a place on the map.
Sure.
Do you have any other examples? Other destinations that have done this well?
Another one that comes to mind is Portugal.
Okay. Yeah.
They've done a phenomenal job of showcasing, their rich history, their culture, their food. They've positioned themselves as kind of a more affordable, laid-back alternative to some of the bigger European destinations.
Yeah, I've heard great things about Portugal. It
Yeah.
seems like they really get who they are, and they've found a way to share that with travelers.
Exactly. And it's been really successful. Tourism is booming in Portugal, and they've managed to do it without, becoming too commercialized or losing their authenticity.
That's awesome. Okay, so these are great examples, but I'm also thinking about like the potential downsides of destination image.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about how induced images can sometimes set unrealistic expectations.
Right.
So is there a risk? Like, can a destination become a victim of its own success?
You're hitting on a really important point, and it's something a lot of popular destinations are dealing with right now. There's this term over-tourism that's become more and more common.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it basically describes the negative impacts that can happen when a place gets too popular.
So like overcrowding, damage to the environment.
Exactly. Strain on local resources, even damage to cultural sites.
Right.
It's a big concern. When a place is flooded with tourists, it can lose some of its charm,
Yeah, it loses its authenticity.
Exactly. Locals can get pushed out, prices skyrocket, and the very things that made the destination so appealing in the first place can start to disappear.
It's like a vicious cycle almost.
Right.
So finding that balance is key.
Absolutely. Attracting tourists is great for the local economy, but not if it comes at the expense of the destination itself.
Totally. It's about promoting sustainable tourism.
Exactly.
Responsible tourism,
Right.
making sure the tourism benefits local communities.
Right. Protecting the environment. Managing visitor numbers.
It's complex. There's no easy solution,
No, it's definitely a challenge.
but I think it's important to be aware of these things.
I agree. As travelers, we have a responsibility to be mindful of our impact, to choose destinations thoughtfully, to respect local cultures and customs, and to support businesses that are committed to sustainability.
So well said.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this has been a truly fascinating deep dive. We've explored so much.
We have.
The psychology of how we perceive places, the marketing strategies, the ethical considerations.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has.
I hope it's given our listeners a better understanding of how destination image works and how they can use this knowledge to make their travel experiences even better.
Me too. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. And to our listeners, we hope this gives you a whole new perspective on those dream destinations.
Happy travel.